This is Late Night Lee Talks TV. I'm Late Night Lee, and I talk reality TV dating shows such as Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Ready to Love, The Ultimatum, and Love Island, just to name a few. So if you do enjoy watching that type of content, then please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out when I upload a new video. And I do appreciate the love and support. Thank you in advance. Now, let's get into Love is Blind Season 6 Reunion. This reunion, I thought, was pretty good. The beginning, it was really good. It got a little bit boring towards the end, but it was pretty good. I like that they finally brought back some couples. Well, a lot of the couples from the previous seasons, but honestly, we already knew everything that they said. Nothing to me was new information. These are things that, these people have already announced on social media, but it was nice to see them back on the show in some type of a way. I do think that, Nick and Jessica, I'm sorry, Nick and Vanessa Lachey did a better job this season. There were just a few things that I think that they should have talked about that they didn't. And I know it's hard to get into every little thing, but I would have loved for them to have pressed Jeremy a little bit more about this timeline. So according to his ex-mother-in-law, she posted a picture that I think they said was taken around November or December of 2022. And the show started filming in 2023, March 2023. So within those few months, they still have to do months of casting and then of course, the background checks and the psyche evals and all of that type of stuff. So that takes time. So to me, the timeline of when that picture was taken and when he supposedly ended his engagement and then decided to apply for a show where the premise of the show is to get engaged and to get married, to me, that timeline is ridiculous. But I don't think that Nick and Vanessa could really go in because I think Nick and Vanessa allegedly got together very quickly after Nick and Jessica Simpson got divorced. There's some type of, old shady history there too. So maybe they weren't the ones that needed to be doing that. But to me, again, it goes back to the quality of men that you guys are casting on this show. Why are you casting someone who was probably still engaged to someone else or probably literally hours or days after his engagement ended applied for the show? It's just, you just hop from one relationship to the next. Look at, so basically in a 6-month time frame, he was engaged twice and started a new relationship. So he went from his ex-engagement to being on the show and getting engaged to Laura and then getting into a relationship with Sarah Ann, Side Salad Sarah, or Pick Me Ann. So he pretty much jumps from relationship to relationship, takes no time for self-growth or reflection. And that's why his ex is on TikTok calling him Jeremy and pretty much saying that he pulled out a pew pew on her and the police had to be called and how he was jealous and, absolutely not. Just not good quality. But they did lean into him as much as they could. And he did reveal that him and Sarah Ann are together. He really didn't show too much. I mean, he seemed like he was trying to lie. And he is the kind of person who lies by omission. And that's even worse. Shout out to Laura, who was in Barcelona. That's what's up, girl, for work. I wouldn't want to, come to the reunion either. Y'all could, video me in. But if I'm getting paid to be in Barcelona for work purposes, I'm not leaving. So shout out to her on that. Now, let's see. So they let us know finally, which I don't know why they didn't reveal on the show, but I guess they do want to save things for the reunion. But they did let us know that Laura talked to Sarah Ann. They had a conversation, and pretty much Laura was trying to warn Sarah Ann about him. And she did let her know, I did think that your message was inappropriate. And Sarah Ann tried to just beat around the bush, but there's no way that you're going to make us, feel bad for you or feel like what you did was innocent. You know how this show goes. You know that you would have had a chance to see him at an outing and you could have gotten what you needed to get off of your chest to him there. He also has Instagram. He could have messaged you if it didn't work out. AD did an interview with Nick Val and the Val Files, and she emphasized the process is a 4-week process. All you had to do was wait a few weeks, wait a couple weeks. Him and Laura and Jeremy probably were not going to work. Okay. They seemed like they were having issues, but to insert yourself, you should have just waited. Zach and Bliss did not DM that man. Bliss know that he didn't choose her, and she went on with her life. And when it didn't work out, Zach came running back. Okay? And shout out to them because they are expecting a baby girl. But, that situation just cannot be compared because Zach and Irina from season 4, they were broken up and done. And Zach went to meet Bliss and he apologized. So it's just DMing somebody that is engaged. It's just nasty work. And pick me and Sarah, we are not. And come to find out, the girls don't F with her either. Yeah, because you're not a girl's girl. No girl wants to be cool with another girl that acts like that. And she got kicked out of the girls group chat, as she should. And yeah, we don't feel sorry for you at all. And let's move on to who's next. Oh, they brought Trevor out. Trevor really didn't say, oh yeah, he did say something. He barely said something. So Trevor pretty much, well, let me back up. Nick and Vanessa read the text messages from Trevor and his girlfriend where he pretty much is like, I love you, babe. I love you, pumpkin. I love you. I'm only doing this for XYZ and yada, yada, yada. So he pretty much lies through his teeth and he says, she wasn't really my girlfriend. She was just a girl I was seeing and I came on the show just to see if, me and her were actually going to work and, to see if I could find something better. Boy, bye. You told her you was going on the show for fame. She probably applied for the show, didn't get chosen. You got chosen. So you went on the show for fame and you made a pact that you were not going to get married, but you was just doing it for the fame. And I think that Chelsea, we owe Chelsea an apology, guys, because we were all like, Chelsea, why in the world are you choosing Jimmy over Trevor? Come to find out, she was right. She said she knew that there was something off, and she was right. I knew that something was off with Trevor. I knew that he was lying. Remember when Chelsea and Trevor were in the pods, and Chelsea said, name 5 things that you love, and Trevor said butterflies and rainbows and sunsets and the Notebook. What heterosexual man gives answers like that for things that he loves? First of all, you look like a meathead who stays and lives in the gym and probably eats super clean. So you should have said, I love working out. I love weights. I love, eating healthy, or, none of that. Like the answers he was giving, it was very much giving cheesy. And I just want to say the things that I know women like so that the woman would fall for me. So I clocked him then. But yeah, Trevor, boy, bye. They did not really get too deep into, what are their names? Kenneth and Brittany. Now, Kenneth and Brittany being besties to me makes no sense. So you can't be in a relationship, but you can be best friends. A year has passed. You're no longer filming the show. You no longer have the pressures of the camera. You no longer have the pressures of a 4-week timeline to get married. You don't have to be engaged. If you are so close to friends, then why are you not in a relationship if you guys talk every day, all day? Yeah, it's not helping those rumors about Kenneth. And to me, like, if I were dating a guy and he told me that him and his ex-fiance are just best friends who talk every day, I would exit stage left. I would be like SpongeBob getting up out of his chair. It's my time to go. Peace out. I'm leaving. Absolutely not. I would not want anything to do with that. They didn't get deep enough into Chelsea and Jimmy for me, because Chelsea to me came off as manipulative and very insecure. And I feel like they should have said to her, like, do you now see how, like, watching your arguments on television, do you see now exactly how, damaging those arguments could have been? Like, did you really feel like those arguments were just cool? Like it was just a part of marriage? It shouldn't be a part of a relationship only 4 weeks in. Absolutely not. I know that, of course, there's going to be fighting and arguments in relationships, but not like that. Not like that. They clearly were not ready for marriage, and I think that they should have pressed in a little bit more in regards to Chelsea. Jessica. Oh, I forgot to say, I love that just about the entire cast except for Matthew was there. So that was good. That was really good. As comparing it to last season 5 was absolutely awful. So I think, Jessica and Jimmy have a conversation. Come to find out, Jessica and Chelsea are just besties, and they're on really great terms. And Jessica, they're asked, how are things with you and Jimmy? Now, I'm sorry, I did watch Jessica's interview with the Val-Fowls, and she confirmed that Jimmy was not her physical type. And she liked guys, like super tall, dark and handsome, I think she said. So even on the show, she was just like, she kind of seemed more enamored with his voice. And so anyway, she said that she thought her and Jimmy were on good terms, but then Jimmy did say on a interview that he felt like Jessica was getting a good edit, and it came across a little shady. He talked about how she stormed out and had an attitude or whatever it was. So they are arguing. Well, I'm not going to say arguing, because this is one good thing I can really say about Jessica is Jessica has good media training or something. Like, she has it in regards to how she does her interviews and how she spoke to Jimmy. When she spoke to Jimmy, she was so calm. She did not raise her voice. She didn't really use too much inflection in her voice. If somebody was talking crap about you in an interview, you might have a little bit of an attitude when you're talking to them. But she was very calm and matter of fact of how she spoke to Jimmy. And they were pretty much going back and forth in regards to how long they had their conversation in the pods and, saying roll the tapes back. And of course they roll the tapes back and Jimmy was lying and Jessica was telling the truth. So, child, that was some stuff. Let's get into, the one couple that made it, Amy and Johnny. So Amy and Johnny are still together. They're still happy. They confirmed that they still haven't had their big fight after, a year in. They haven't had any big altercation or anything like that. Johnny admits that he was very unaware of how, birth control and how it impacts a woman's body, just like most men. He just didn't know. And him and Amy are doing great. They posted some funny videos. That picture, that he posted, I thought was really, it was really cute. That was so funny. and they are doing really well. So I thought that Amy looked really nice. She was definitely giving like that Jessica Rabbit vibes in her red. So Amy, you go, girl. Let's get into AD and Clay. So Clay came across like he was trying to be humble and, humble himself to the courts. Did you guys notice his posture? How he was sitting, like he had like back problems or like a brace on his back. He was sitting very weird to me. And it could be, he is a former athlete. Maybe he has back problems and sitting for long periods of time may be uncomfortable for him. But I still wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. To me, it was just very rehearsed. And, the thing about Clay, I'm glad that he's in therapy. But again, you should not have come on a show. First of all, you should not have gone so far as actually getting on the show and never watching any of the previous seasons. The fact that he didn't even realize that you're supposed to actually get married is crazy to me. Like, you really thought he was just going to be engaged for play? I mean, it's just giving so unserious. But here's the thing. You are a grown man in your 30s. You have to do the work on yourself. You need to stop playing with women. And most men, it's like they don't get it until they're like in their 40s. But it's like you play with women from, your high school years into your 40s. And how many women have you hurt and played with before you realize that you needed to work on yourself? You know what I mean? Like, that's why we're not giving grace anymore. You need to come whole and come healed. Why would you sign up for a show and go so far into the point where you're chosen and you start filming and you have access to Netflix, costs $9.99. You could watch the series. The episode is like, it's just dumb. It's dumb. And I know that he's trying to do the work and better himself, but you should have done the work or not come on the show. You should have came on the show fully healed and whole and ready. But in the process, what did you do? You hurt AD. You embarrassed her in front of the world. You embarrassed her in front of her younger sisters and her nieces, who now have to associate love and weddings with AD getting stood up. Well, not stood up, but getting told no at the altar. Like, what does that do to little girls? Mr. Clay is over here complaining about how his father took him to, his little cheating sessions and how that impacted him. But you are just repeating the cycle because those little girls, AD's nieces at the wedding, they had to see their aunt be embarrassed and humiliated at her wedding. It's one thing if they were going to the courthouse, the justice of the peace, or, quick little Vegas wedding. Like, this is an actual real wedding. Yeah, it's on a set with cameras all around, but do you guys see how beautiful the floral arrangements are? The setting. They have their real family and friends there. They go dress fitting. They have, bridesmaids and yeah, I don't like the fact that Clay came on the show about getting engaged and getting married and wasn't ready for marriage. Like, I can't forgive that. You cannot, in the process of knowing you need to work on yourself, it's not okay to hurt people in the process. It's just not okay. And, good for him. I felt like he came rehearsed and he was trying to, force a cry and tears in there, but it didn't come, the cry or the tears didn't come out. So I'm just like, all right, Clay. And even AD, like, she was rolling her eyes. She looked so annoyed and waved him off when he talked about, she's the love of my life. I should have, I made a mistake at the altar. I should have said yes. Like, she told him that, if you'd say no, then we are done. So according to AD in her interview with the Val Files, she said that Clay said to her that he was surprised that she didn't want to continue dating him. He said he thought that, he can get her to change her mind and that they could continue dating. Now, she stood her ground and she said no, as she should. And, he pretty much felt like he could change her mind, but I'm glad she stood on business. AD dating Matthew after her failed marriage to Clay is ridiculous to me. AD has not changed. I don't feel like she's grown or that she's no longer painting her nails red, because the fact that this man, you saw who he was. You knew that he told Amber the same exact things that he told you. He offered to take you out to lunch to apologize. Okay. But you still went on an additional date with him. You went over to his place alone with him while he was cooking you a meal. Yeah, we know how that goes. To me, why? This man already played you. He played you with a girl who has the same name as you. Like, he already played you. Why would you give him a second chance? And that is the thing about women when we get to a certain age, past our 30s. We forgive and put up with things that we should not. That man already played you in the pods. And when he left the pods, he said he was going to get Amber. He didn't say he was going to wait for you. That's crazy to me. And even the whole situation with Clay. Here's the thing. We never saw anything so wonderful and beautiful about Clay and AD. The only thing I felt like was super cute was like they had a really good banter and like they can play with each other, like, friendship wise, and that's also very important. But we didn't see him, talk about her. You know what? Yeah, he has said she has, encouraged me. She has been my rock and my backbone. She has been great to me. But what was he doing for her? Because AD said that she would follow him off of a cliff with no parachute because she knew that he would catch her. Well, he certainly would not catch you because he said no to you at the altar. That man lets you fall and embarrass you on national television. So my thing is, what in the world did AD see? Because we didn't see it. We didn't see a man treating her right. We saw a man who wasn't coming home at night because he couldn't be bothered to drive an hour to and from his place of work. As if the majority of Americans don't have to sit in traffic every day to get to and from home to work. He was not coming home at night. Remember when AD was talking to her mom saying that she had something set up at the house, fun for them to do, and he didn't come home. So again, what was AD seeing in this man? No one has asked her that. No one. And I have been waiting for an interview with AD for someone to say, when this man repeatedly talked about how he was not ready and how he would try and get ready, but that he was not ready, and how he never saw a positive representation of love. Why did you think that why were you so in love that you would follow him off of a cliff? I don't get it. And those questions were not asked or answered for me in the reunion or the Val Fowles interview with AD. But man, that reunion was something I think I addressed as much as I could remember. As far as the couples from the previous seasons, I would prefer to see like a Where Are They Now special on the couples as opposed to bringing them back to the reunion. We already knew those people were pregnant. So, yeah, to me, that it wasn't needed, but it was nice to see those couples, but they should have had Lauren and Cameron on there, point blank period. The only information that we got that was new to us was that Izzy from season 5 of Love is Blind and Micah from season 4 of Love is Blind is going to be on The Perfect Match season 2. So if you remember, The Perfect Match was just a bunch of singles from previous Netflix shows such as The Mole, Love is Blind. What is the other one where they can't, Too Hot to Handle. Yeah. So mainly those 3 shows and The Ultimatum. So a lot of people who left those shows single, or a lot of people who were previously on those shows and are now single, were on The Perfect Match. And with The Perfect Match, you would have X amount of men and X amount of women in the house, and they would all have to try to couple up at the end of each night. And any person that was left standing alone at the end was eliminated and had to leave the house. And there was a lot of controversy last year for season 1 because 2 darker skinned Black women were pretty much dismissed quite quickly. And, people talked about the lack of diversity in the show, and choosing Black men who are actually interested in dating Black women. I think that's the main thing. But yeah, I stopped watching because as a darker skinned Black woman, I'm not watching a dating show where Black women are not represented, and Black women who look like me, who are normally, shunned in regards to the dating process. So yeah, that show had gotten a lot of heat. Season 1, yeah, man, I didn't finish watching it. I think the couple that won again was a Black man who, chose to be with a white woman who was actually single. I'm sorry, a white woman who was actually in a relationship, I think, like when the show was going on. So after she left the show, she went back to her man, and it was so much drama behind that show. But yeah, season 1 was not cool. So we'll see what happens for season 2, honey. I don't know. So we know that Micah and Izzy is going to be on the show. I was wondering, like, are they supposed to be together? Like, is that what they're going to spill? But no, they're going to be on the match. I'm sorry, on The Perfect Match. And I don't know if they're going to end up together when they do go on that show, but that would be interesting. And we also know that Jessica's going to be on that show as well, and so is Trevor. But according to Trevor's ex, Trevor did not make it past the first day of that show either. So yeah. Anyway, the reunion, it was very good, but there are always going to be things. But yeah, I feel like there were definitely some things that they left out. They could have drilled in a little bit more to certain people, but I think that they want to, stay on good terms and invite people back and stuff like that. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. I hope that AD gets an opportunity to be on The Perfect Match, seeing as though she is single. And I guess they already filmed it, but they knew that AD wasn't going to, they knew, of course, already that she did not get married to Clay. So hopefully she's like a special surprise guest or something like that. Yeah. So we'll see what we have next coming up. Last season, we did not get an After the Altar. So we will see if we get an After the Altar for season 6. Season 7, given the success of season 6, I think we'll have season 7 out by the summertime. So we'll see. Apparently, they already have season 7 and season 8 filmed already. So, all right, Love is Blind. This is season 6 reunion recap and a wrap up. Comment down below if I missed anything. I'll do another video if it's something like super big. My next video will be on Chelsea from season 4 of Love is Blind and her drama with Jessie Woo. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching. Remember, this is a new channel, so I do appreciate if you like the video, you subscribe, and then comment down below with your thoughts. Thanks again for watching. This is Leighton Ali, and I'm signing out.